We didn't want the largest world, but the densest. A city that feels lived in at every scale, where every corner carries history and every surface tells a story. Port Desire is shaped by human clutter, cramped market alleys, layered graffiti, worn stickers on electrical boxes. It's a story with every frame, from a messy apartment where characters go about their lives to the skyline of the city. As a relatively small team, that ambition came with real challenges. We wanted extreme detail everywhere, but we also needed stability and performance without hand optimizing each location. For us, the answer wasn't a single system, but a shift in how we built the world. We prioritized density over scale, and we built a pipeline that let artists handcraft spaces without constantly stripping detail back and without relying on procedural generation. Nanite is what made that approach viable. It lets us keep a high level of detail across surfaces without treating every asset as a trade-off between fidelity and performance. Our custom implementation of FastGeo in combination with the world partition system enables a seamless experience that never breaks. It allows us to have details in every nook and cranny and tell a million small stories. In fact, we have more objects in any given frame than the entirety of the ascent. With this workflow, we can preserve detail and density in every corner, from the smallest bolt on a freighter to the city as a whole, with no invisible walls and no loading. We build tools inside Unreal to help our artists handcraft the entire city, alley by alley, building by building, block by block. To show Port Desire's full range as an urban city overrun with vegetation, we needed dynamic lighting. From the cozy, lush midday sun to the darkest, the most dangerous alleys where even the bright neon light does not reach. The challenge was maintaining a fully dynamic day, night, and weather system without unpredictable frame times. Lumen gives the foundation for fully dynamic lighting, and MegaLights let our artists focus on the believability of the space instead of tuning every single light source. Every believable space needs dozens or hundreds of individual light sources. From the smallest blinking electronic warning light on a camera to the large neon signs above a marketplace. MegaLights allow us to retain the visual fidelity bar we're aiming for while keeping performance considerations low. Once everything is dynamic, it starts to affect the gameplay in more direct ways. Players can shoot out a street lamp, flood a space with a flashlight, or they can leave an area in darkness and have the AI NPCs react to light and shadow, shying away from glare, searching through darkness, or escalating when something feels off.
Let's see who's got the bigger gun, motherfucker!
To make the city feel alive, we leaned on the mass framework to drive our crowds. NPC density and types shift based on time of day, region, and weather. In the slums, a storm clears the streets, but in the more sinful parts of Port Desire, even heavy rain won't slow things down. Mass lets us simulate thousands of characters at once, over 3,000 at any given time, which is also more than the entirety of the ascent. So the city always feels active, no matter where you are. We're also using MetaHuman, paired with our own character randomization system. Together with MetaHuman Animator, we can generate and bring to life thousands and thousands of variations of characters, so that the main characters and the extras in the background are all unique. We wanted a world that reacted systemically to the player, without us having to hand-place effects and destruction. Filling a world of this density and scale with contextual effects while maintaining performance and interactivity was one of our key challenges. By combining PCG and Niagara Data Channels, environmental effects are procedurally populated where appropriate. Wherever artists place trash or leaves, particles will spawn dynamically based on wind, weather, and player actions. Shoot a bullet or throw a grenade, and particles will move out of the way. We combined chaos physics and their own GPU-driven solution to support tens of thousands of moving objects simultaneously. The result is a reactive environment, where smoke lingers, embers drift, and broken glass stays where it fell. Creating NOLA has been the process of finding where the engine ends and our custom tools begin. Achieving this level of density, lighting complexity, and systemic reactivity was previously impossible for a studio of our size. By leveraging UE5's latest tech to bypass traditional development bottlenecks, we have finally been able to build the uncompromised version of the world we wanted to create for years.
Port Desire, a city that don't belong to anyone, but everyone wants a piece. No laws, no oversight, just the jungle creeping back in, both the vines and the people. The mayor stepped in where the government couldn't, said the city needed order, and they'd be the ones to bring it, keeping the peace on their terms. I walked away from it all, kept my hands in dirt instead of blood. But desire is a fickle mistress. The city won't let me go. It won't forget my name. I asked for nothing, and they still came and took everything. The mayors and anyone that stands in my way, every last one of them. They're gonna learn something real simple. You reap what you sow.
I can honestly say I have never worked on a game world I've been this excited for, and I really hope that resonates with the players and that they will enjoy exploring it. There is a space between 3 neighboring countries, which no country has been able to step into, and in that space, this completely unregulated city has emerged, called Port Desire.
We need to make everything from scratch. And the more we build, the more things are interconnected. And if you are the type of player that you will actually stop in the shop and you will look at the missing dog poster on the counter and you will start to puzzle things together. Like there are so many little stories all over the world.
So while Port Desire is lawless, there is still some kind of order, because there's this outer nation military force in the city called the Peacekeepers. They are there to keep everything just as it is, because it plays in the interest of greater powers. But they are still at odds with the gangsters and the mayors running the city in their way. If you want to dig deeper into that, what is it, why is it, and why does this make the gardener so angry, that is for you to uncover.
Environmental storytelling is extremely important for us because it allows us to tell the history of Port Desire. We try to make the city feel very vertical. That means both in how you see the city, but also that you can utilize like rooftops as part of your path around.
Cyberpunk for us is the perfect playground where we can be pretty ridiculous and over the top at times, but at the same time keeping it pretty grounded.
The only reason Neon Giant exists today is because something like it didn't at the time. And we never really set out to run a business or to create a studio. That was never the dream or the ambition. We just had a very particular picture in mind of how we wanted to make games. And the only way to achieve that was to create it. Starting the studio in Uppsala was actually just a result of us being here already, but it has proven to be a very powerful thing for us because of the maturity of the people in the studio.
It's small enough and big enough, you know, it's not Stockholm, it's not the hustle and bustle, but it's also, you know, a half an hour down the road from that if that's what you need. It's a perfect place to have a family and have kids, for sure.
Well, we have ex-directors here, super senior talents. And here they get to both direct and decide what to do, but they also get to do it. That's basically the sentiment of the entire studio. You both decide and you do it.
I think with everybody here being so senior and just knowing what to do, there's nothing that we have to create to force them to do anything. There's no argument. It just happens. People just, this is an issue. How do we do it? We did it.
If we compare us now towards when we made the Ascent, basically the Ascent was made by a handful of people. If someone in the studio got sick, then we lost an entire department. Now we can cover most aspects with 2 people instead. For us, it's a huge difference, but it took us from 5 people to 23, so we're still very small.
We often joke that Neon Giant is not a great place for everyone, but it is a fantastic place for the right kind of person. And that is the kind of person that is not shying away from taking ownership and taking responsibility. They thrive on it. You tell me what you want to do, and as long as that is the same game everyone else is trying to make, we're in a very good place, and then you go for it.
Everybody's so creative and just knows what to do. They don't really need to be told what to do. It's not corporate in that way. It's just creative minds. We're not cogs in a machine.
One of the big reasons why we decided to go with Krafton was that we wanted to tap into the enormous resources and the pool of talents that the Krafton has. That's the biggest change, that we now act as a small, fast, nimble studio, but with the resources of a giant.
Seeing as all the people in the studio are creatives, it's easy for us to understand how we work and what excites us. If it's only coming in Monday to Friday, looking at the list, doing what's asked, you don't get invested. And I think what we have done, what we have managed to build, is a place where people have creator ownership. If we don't have excited people, we don't get the best result.
On Ascent, it was a very ambitious game. It took a lot of risk and really pushed every boundaries. And at the end, it worked out really well. It was a huge success for the studio. And for our next project, we know the game we want to do and have known it for a very long time. So now we're focused on that. And in those constraints, we just try to push as much as possible.
Every time we approach like a new feature, a new workflow, we try to push it a little bit further, a little bit more effective, a little bit more faster than what we have previously done. That's our starting point, basically, every time we approach a new feature.
When it comes to experimentation, I feel like we are very open, and that's one of the things that makes me really love this studio. It's very exciting to be able to say, I want to test this, and the company actually listens to it and tries and accommodates that.
Instead of just saying like, oh, we want to do exactly all these things, we know that along the way we will find cool things we want to explore. We're just focusing on removing all the hurdles and just letting the artists create all the time, to just have flow. It's like, just don't stop, just create.
We're early adopters of MetaSounds, which is the new Unreal Engine audio technology. And this has allowed us to realize most of our visions for the soundscape. For music, we have a lot of opportunities, and we're able to work closely together because we're such a small team.
I think some of the more interesting things that are happening now with the new emerging technology is that smaller teams can create much more complete games using all these new features, which leads to a lot more ownership and experimentation, which ultimately leads to a lot more interesting games.
We focused a lot on tools for this project, and that is an investment that has to pay itself off over and over again. Those tools that really allow us to work at a high pace and produce good content. For the amount of people we are in a very small studio, making a very ambitious game.
We just build things that we think are really cool. Like that's step one. We have to be excited about it. We have to think, this is gonna be awesome when we build it. That's the first step. We also know we are a small team. We don't have bandwidth to make, some things. We need to be very specific with how we build the world. Like how do we make something that is high quality and high fidelity? Because that's really important to us. And we can't do that if we pick battles that we can't fight. We have to be very mindful with what visually we try to accomplish with that.